Yo, what's up? It's your boy Koi. I'm just out here doing cardio with Bailey. It's one of those day off things where I just do whatever the hell I want. And these things are very mundane and boring to some people. But it's my life, man. I really do enjoy these things. I really do enjoy being in the moments. Yeah, some of you might call these things pointless, and I'm coping with the inherent meaninglessness of life. I'm just doing things just to pass the time. Maybe that is the case. But like in the moment, I don't think about these things, you know? Like when you're doing these things, you don't sit down and think, what is the point of going out for a walk with your dog in the middle of the day? Like, what purpose are you serving? Like, are you moving towards your goal? Are you making more money? Are you feeling happier and more fulfilled in life? Like, you don't sit down and analyze these things. I think that's the trap with intellectualizing things. You're just analyzing shit all the time, and that's why you're not happy. And yeah, that's my philosophy in life anyways. Just be in the moment, and whatever it is that you're doing, just enjoy doing the damn thing, and don't just think about the future or think about the past. What could I have done to not have messed up as bad as I did in 2017? Or how do I see myself in 5 years? You know, employers really do like to ask you these sorts of questions, and sure, it might give you and them an idea of what you are working towards and how you can be the most productive worker in the organization and stuff like that. But yeah, are you feeling happier knowing that in the next 5 years you're gonna triple your profits and bring more money to your bosses? I don't know why I even brought up that topic, but yeah, what I'm trying to say is when I'm in the moment and I'm not making videos, I just love being here, man. Like, what else? What more could I ask for than to walk with my dog on a Thursday afternoon? And keep in mind, I've been doing this sort of activities all day. I've just been doing whatever I feel like doing, you know, on my days off. I don't make more money on my days off. I actually do take the time off and really enjoy doing the things that define me, like playing guitar. Man, as a child, I remember I spent hours and hours just noodling on my guitar in high school. Man, I got zit. Yeah, I just spent hours and hours playing the same freaking thing on my guitar in high school, and I think I told you guys this. At some point, I even told my parents I'm going to drop out of high school to pursue a career in music. And as you all know, that's not viable. You're not going to be making even a living being a musician alone. You need some backup. You need some other things going on for you in order to make a living as a musician. Don't get me wrong, you can still be a very accomplished musician in this day and age, but you need to have backup plans as well. Like, what if that music career is gonna fall through? Then what other skills do you have? So yeah, I told my parents, my teachers, that I'm gonna drop out of high school and be a full-time musician. Bullshit, they told me. Bullshit, the hell you are. You gotta have a career, man. And so yeah, I took the advice, and as you all know, I am now a nurse. I work in a hospital. Do I feel satisfied with my job? Do I feel like I've made the right decision? Yes, 100%, 100%. My job gives me immense satisfaction and meaning, and I feel like I am contributing member of society. My salary is not that great. It's still very good. Don't get me wrong, it's still very good. But yeah, I think if you ever go into any sort of profession, the money shouldn't be your main motivation. If you view this life thing as more than money, and you want to have some sense of purpose and you want to feel somewhat fulfilled and happy in life, it's not about the money, man. Because if you ask me, who's happier, a medical resident or a barista? Who has better life quality? I really don't know what to say. I really don't know, because right now you might say that, well, the medical residents, they are basically the bottom of the food chain in terms of doctor rankings. They pretty much run around the hospital completing tasks that other people sent them. They are basically the consultant subordinates. They run around, they're on the floor doing tasks, inserting cannulas, putting catheters in patients, taking blood sometimes if patients have bad veins, doing a million other jobs, organizing x-rays, ultrasounds. If the nurses have problems, they run to the medical residents as their first line of call. And then if the problem is too big, that's beyond the scope, then the doctors have to run it up to their bosses, the registrar, the consultant, you know what I mean. So yeah, they are pretty much overworked and their pay isn't that great to start with. And plus all of this training, all of this studying. But then you look at their long-term progression, they do eventually make more money as the years go by, and after they sit the test and upgrading their job title, become a registrar, take an exam, become a consultant. I don't know the exact progression scheme that these doctors go through, but yeah, at first when you look at their lives, you compare the barista and the doctors and you think, surely the barista has a better quality of life. They make coffee, and don't get me wrong, being a barista is also very stressful at times, especially if you mess up the customer's order. I worked as a barista once, so I know how that feels. Or you don't make their drink up to their standards, you might get abused. Not very often though. That's my experience anyways. But yeah, your job is largely stress-free and doesn't require as much training or study or cost even. The barrier to entry is not that high. But you make less money over time. You don't really get a huge boost in salary with the years go by. And so who has better life quality? Who has better life quality? I don't really know, man. I don't really know. Does your salary reflect a better life quality? What do you have to sacrifice in order to become the top dog in the medical field, the consultant? Endless studying, endless paying for school fees, stress, working overtime, working doubles, working night shifts while studying, while trying to maintain a social life. So would the paycheck really reflect your quality of life? I wonder. Maybe you will say yes. Maybe you will say just work a few years in the field, and then once you saved up enough, then you move out. You stop becoming the rat in the hospital. Sorry, I'm using really derogatory terms, but I'm just trying to get my points across. Yeah, so I was spending hours and hours playing my guitar, and I thought to myself, if these doctors were not motivated by money, surely they would have spent hours and hours studying for their medical exam. And because they love it, they choose their life, like they chose the medical field, they chose to help people. I don't think most doctors that I know, I don't think that most of them would think about the paycheck in the long term. Sure, they will make a lot of money eventually, but they don't go into medical school with the goal of making as much money as possible. They want to help people. They want to further their knowledge. They want to challenge themselves, and this is the other thing as well. The reason why I was able to sit for hours playing my guitar, or maybe even go to the gym and doing bench press, is because it's a task that I feel comfortable doing. Like I love doing it, but then it's also challenging enough for me to be sitting around for hours doing the same thing. Because if it's too easy, if a task is too easy, you get bored. You remember how when you were in school, right? And then there's this subject that you really dread. For me, it was, I think it must have been physics or something that I really dread, and you don't understand it, so you sort of gave up, even though it's very challenging. No, not physics. I think it's one of those social subjects like history or something. I find myself tapping away and making drawings in my books, because I just don't enjoy doing it, but I was able to spend hours and hours sitting down playing my guitar today, hours and hours just learning about the different modes. And it's fascinating, man. Music is fascinating. You have a major chord, major scale, and you change a couple of notes in that major scale, suddenly you get different flavors, you get different feeling. The major scale, if you flatten different notes in the scale and you sharpen notes in the scale, it gives you different feeling, I don't know how to describe it, different sound. So you have the natural major scale, which is the normal major scale, and then you go to the next degree, which is the Dorian mode. The Phrygian mode is like a Spanish scale. Arabic has a very foreign sounding. And then you have the Lydian, which sounds like space music. That's what I'm trying to incorporate into my own songwriting, using a lot of Lydian scale. It sounds very eerie, very alien. Then you have the Mixolydian. Then you have the Aeolian, which is like the minor scale. And then you have the Locrian, which is a really weird freaking scale. It's like a diminished sort of scale, so it sounds very dissonant. And all this theory doesn't mean jack shit if you don't know how to apply it. I lost my train of thoughts there, but all of this doesn't mean jack shit if I don't know how to apply it. And this is how I approach music. I don't like learning music theory. I really don't like doing that. So I'm just trying to get in the flow by playing. I love playing guitar. And I just love sitting around and noodling on my guitar, just figuring out stuff, figuring out different sounds and seeing how different modes work, how different notes give me different feeling. That's my application of music. And that's what I find challenging and also very motivating. So that's why I can spend hours and hours just spinning the wheels, just doing these things. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I'm just thinking about life again and how to feel fulfilled in life and feel happy with what you have. Is it worth it to be working a job that you absolutely despise, even though it makes you a ton of money? Is it really worth it? I mean, I've been back to Vietnam and I've been to some of these hotels and restaurants, and they actually hire people to greet customers. Just people doing the same thing over and over again. And never have I seen those people having a frown on their face. They're so freaking happy for doing the same freaking exact thing for hours on end. Just opening the door, say hi to the customer, directing them to the products. And yeah, like I never see them crying or feeling down about it. And I'm sure they don't make a shit ton of money, but they're so freaking happy. And same thing with some taxi drivers as well. Like, you would think that taxi drivers are the bottom of the bottom in terms of the food chain in society. But man, like all taxi drivers that I have met, they're so freaking happy. They're so happy, man. They're the happiest people. They love telling stories. They love talking to the customers. But their paycheck, I'm sure I make more money than them. Do I feel happier than them? Surely not. Surely not. I don't think it's the paycheck that gives you happiness in life. You just got to find something that gets you into this flow state. When you forget about the past, the present, you just focus on your job. And that's when you are really good at your job, you know. Don't get me wrong, being a barista takes a lot of skill. And some people, they spend their entire life perfecting this skill of making coffee. And it shows in the cup of coffee that me as a customer receive. And yeah, I think that's the key to happiness right there. Just spending time perfecting a skill, find something that you're passionate about, and just forget about what other people say. Don't think too much about the money, the end goal. Just enjoy doing that thing. And for me, I have many things that give my life meaning. And the internet can be real cruel sometimes, and people will jump on here and say, oh man, you're coping, you're this, you're that, it's over. It's not over. It's not over, my friend. Anyways, hope you guys are doing well. Stay strong, God bless, and I'm gonna get back to what I'm doing. So peace.